this shirt is adding 10,000 degrees of heat.
Oh yeah, well, dude, don't wear it to the Bahamas.
I'll tell you what, I grew up in Texas with that heat, baby. And you've been to Kauai. It's freaking wet out there, but it doesn't get past the 70s.
Dude, we'll do little known facts about Brandon for a minute here.
Okay.
48 states.
48 of 50?
Yeah, actually maybe 49. I've been to everything but North Dakota.
Wow, I don't think the Dakotas count.
Yeah. North Dakota. But I've been to South Dakota, dude.
Wow, dude.
I went on a little family vacation and saw Mount Rushmore.
So what was the one you didn't go to, Alaska?
North Dakota.
Oh, you just said it. Why did I think that you didn't tell me? I'm trying to dig in there. So you've been to Alaska and everything.
Yeah, I've been to Alaska a few times. My boys and me go up there and fish. It's amazing.
Yeah,
you get the chance.
You live life. You're like the guy. I'm like Dale and Step Brothers, and you're like the brother that's successful. The guy that comes home, the successful one.
The successful one.
The successful one, and I'm the step brother.
I was like, hey.
No, you're the one that comes home. Have you ever been fly fishing out of the helicopter and the dad's just wooing over that guy? I'm the stepbrother, like trying to make my nachos at home,
making bunk beds.
Hey, we about to mess stuff up in here. I'll tell you that.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna go ahead and start right now with an introduction to someone that you might not fully know well. He is new to the media space, straight out of University of Utah, correct? Standing at 6'1", new rookie. He's a rookie. I'm still technically a rookie. I'm not even out of my first
Utah Valley University. I would never have been at the U.
Yeah, so Utah.
Too big of a BYU fan.
He's a BYU guy. So yeah. And he's new to the media space. Don't hold it
against me.
I hope you guys give him a round of applause virtually. This is how many podcasts then have we done here in the studio?
This is the third round trying to film this initial.
I can't tell you how hard it is to do tech, cameras.
Mic's not working.
It's always something little. So Here we are in our studio. I gave the big news to the channel on Colby J. Ryan, my personal channel, and I just announced to our members, I haven't even told the world yet, I haven't even gone in that Brandon and I, after our initial podcast that we did on my channel, there was just something that happened behind the scenes, this conversation that just started, and I don't think either one of us could have planned what happened next.
No, man, I came to the court. We talked.
Yeah.
We connected.
Oops. Hold on now.
Went to lunch.
I'm still listening to you. I'm being respectful. Frick the phone.
It's all part of the thing. We went, grabbed lunch after, and I had told you how I was feeling prompted to just offer.
Yes.
Like, hey, yeah, I'll do an interview. Like, I'm not doing interviews, but I'll do an interview with you.
Yeah.
Simply because I just wanted you to know, like,
yeah,
that's where I was at with you. Like,
yeah, exactly.
And just so everybody else knows, we hadn't caught up. We weren't really. Like what you saw in that first interview was a lot of it was like us just catching up raw on the camera, and Colby is kind of living his life that way now with the way he's doing things. And so after that, the video went up. I sincerely thought maybe a few people would. I didn't know how many people follow you, right?
Right.
Like,
you're not a tech guy. You're not an internet guy.
I don't use social media really at all. So I didn't realize he had 85,000 followers or whatever, and I didn't know that there was like a group of you who love him.
Yeah.
And so when it went up and you guys were just amazing, it was a surprise for me, and it started a conversation where he just opened up to me about he's got this dream of opening a media company, and I think maybe just the relationship that me and you have had, and you've seen me own some businesses and have some success, and maybe there's
some success. He's a very humble man. He's very, very humble. He's the humble guy.
Anyways, because of that, it was easy. We just had that conversation, and I told you, like, I could get passionate about doing something for the right reasons, and that's what started the conversation. Was what are the reasons? And so, and I think that's kind of what we want to make a video about is
exactly what our purpose is. Like, so basically, behind the scenes, we had that conversation, it went so well with us. Again, there was almost this like unmissed time. Like, I mean, we really hadn't caught up. And like, I think we'll go over this in another video for people, but in our situation, the way that it works is that you just don't know where anybody stands. Really.
It's scary.
Man. It's a scary place to be. There's never going to be a way.
People. You don't know who supports who. You don't know
exactly.
Like everybody had and probably all of us will deal with the rest of our life. Like, inability to trust people at the same level anymore,
Exactly.
right? Like
It'll never be the same.
It's a process to just learn to trust each other again.
Exactly. And so like for Brandon and I, like I told you guys in our interview, I grew up with Brandon. I was 12 years old when I met him. So like he watched me literally grow up from 12 up.
Yeah.
And again, I saw him grow up. But the thing was, when we got in that conversation, it was so easy to talk. And I think that what I found out more, and that now being a grown man and like being there, is like, oh my gosh, me and Brandon are like really with a lot of what we believe and think in this space of trying to heal and help other people. We have the same heart for people. We both love people.
Yeah.
And so that conversation starts happening. And I tell him, he's like, let's talk more about like what you want to accomplish. And I'm like, look, I feel like I'm creating something real. And then this back and forth conversation. And then Brandon's like, well, I love helping people. And then you were like, well, we both have had these experiences in media. So long story short, like we could create something real that doesn't have anybody else's fingerprints on it, and we can tell our stories.
Yeah.
And you told me where you were at, if you don't mind sharing about the book.
So what happened is in that process, we started discussing how we feel about the media. We both connected. Like, I don't do interviews with a lot of places for a reason. It's just uncomfortable. I understand that they're in the business of making money. Right. And for me, it's just, you worry about everyone's intentions and why they want to do the interview, and you worry about what you're going to say. And so many, it's very hard to control. And so I shared with you, hey, I do believe in sharing my story, and I do want to help people. Like, it's not that I didn't want to help people. It's that I wanted to make sure that when I was helping people and when I shared my message, it was my message. And so I shared about my book and how I've gone about through the process. And I think we'll probably spend some time talking specifically about that and do its own video for it. But and as we started talking about that, you started sharing, and we had already talked about the possibility of having a documentary that was all of the information that from this case, and that was ours, and that we built, and that we could not have somebody else tell us how it was going to be, because they weren't here, they didn't live it, they don't know, they don't actually know how it was. We do, right? Us, Kay, the people who were really here, we're the ones who know. And while we may not be filmmakers, I'm sure we can find someone to help us through that process. And that was the whole idea behind it, right? That's what started this.
That sparked the whole thing. And it was just like a match to a fire. And that conversation went from your book to the documentary. And then obviously I've had really bad experiences. Like, I've been through that process. And then I said, I'm going to do a YouTube channel because I'm so sick and tired of the narrative. Like, if you're going to hear the media say it, you come to my channel and also listen to it. And I'll let you know right now, just very honestly, that LeBron James inspired that. Okay. He started a whole media company, I think, called Uninterrupted. And I was like, dude, that's what you need, because you don't realize how the media works until you have to deal with it.
Yeah.
So then it was just we went back and forth, and then we started sitting down, and this idea started to roll without any, like, I don't want to say effort, but like without effort in a sense. Like, the more we talk, the more we're like, hey, this makes sense. Like, this makes sense for both of us. And then we start talking names,
and we got stuck again, right? So so we knew, hey, we like this idea, but we didn't have a way to move it forward, right? Because we really cared about the name, and and we were talking about your book name, God Over Odds. We really like that. I love the phrase beauty from ashes. We were bouncing stuff around, and then we'd always come up, there'd be something we were worried about, like, oh, if you use one of those, maybe you get stuck in being a Christian channel,
right?
We obviously we're both very Christian, right? We love our faith, but we didn't want to exclude anybody. We want this to be a community that can include everybody who wants to be here.
Exactly.
Right. And so we were trying to think through how do we do that, so that if one day, we build this past me and you and our story, it can be something that we can help other people with. Because that was the bigger picture thing. It was like, okay, we can do this together, and that's awesome. And I think that made us feel empowered, being able to do this together and work together on something. And then that next step that came to us was, we need a name that matches the ability to go out and to make this a community where we can grow past just this story, and we can help other people, because that's where the passion, I think, really took off for both of us.
Exactly. And then Brandon and I, like he said, we worked shop so much, like we kept getting kind of forward and stuck, and we really wanted to know like what we want. We kept talking, so we just ironed things out over time. And then so Brandon shared a poem with me. And it was a really beautiful poem. And so then, on the podcast, I actually shared with Brandon something that I had never shared on our channel yet, on Colby J. Ryan channel, is I shared this idea of a short kind of film, whatever you want to call it. I call them projects.
Yeah.
About a butterfly turning into a caterpillar in that process. And so something about those two things that meant a lot to us created our media name. And I want the 6'1" guard from UVU to tell everybody, even though it's already.
Don't ask my son, who's almost my height right now, because he'll tell you that I'm 5'11" and 3/4. But we'll go with 6'1".
Right.
Someone's got to make me feel good about life.
Hey, there you go. There you go.
I'm the shortest one in my family out of my siblings, and Colby knows that. So I got like a little chip on my shoulder. My dad's like a 6'6" guy. If you guys saw him in the background.
Yeah, he is. He's a tall guy.
He's huge. So we add those two things together. My poem's called Good Timber.
Mm-hmm.
I want to just read it to you guys because I honestly love this poem. It's like a favorite of mine. So give me 2 seconds to pull it up. Okay. It's by Douglas Mallock. So the tree that never had to fight for sun and sky and air and light, but stood out in the open plain and always got its share of rain, never became a forest king, but lived and died a scrubby thing. The man who never had to toil to gain and farm his patch of soil, who never had to win his share of sun and sky and light and air, never became a manly man, but lived and died as he began. Good timber does not grow with ease. The stronger wind, the stronger trees. The further sky, the greater length. The more the storm, the more the strength. By sun and cold, by rain and snow, and trees and men, good timbers grow. Where thickest lies the forest growth, we find the patriarchs of both, and they hold counsel with the stars, whose broken branches show the scars of many winds and much of strife. This is the common law of life.
Love it.
So that, to me, that's a big poem I use for my life. I like the idea of being grounded. I love the principle of as we grow through life, as we grow through trials and adversity, we show scars.
Yeah.
Storms are what make us stronger.
Yeah.
And I was trying to communicate that with Colby, because I wanted him to understand, like, hey, when I think of like, how do we help people? How do we empower? So how do we get through our story? And then how do we empower other people as a media company to share their story, not to take advantage of them and take their most vulnerable, difficult situations and make money off of it, but instead to help them share how they healed through it, and share how they grew and became who they are today, and share who they are today,
right?
And help them be empowered to make money from their story instead of the other way around.
Exactly.
And I think that's where that passion came from. That's where we both got into the space. We'll do it for ourselves to show them that it works, and then we'll help build a community full of people who love helping people. And
I want to hit on something you said. Really, something you said there was beautiful, and it's people are coming in to get people to tell their story, and they make the money. And the person who did it, all they did was open up a wound, and the possibility of the idea of possibly wanting to share something and help somebody, and then they get completely shoved to the side. That's that, so that's like we understand that ourselves, and that's where it's like, this is what we can do as a media company, not just as two guys who want to talk to people, but like as a media company. This is our vision: empower people. And then Brandon brought up the idea. He started saying, let's refer to people as survivors and not victims. And I'd like for you to jump into that side, because you brought that up, and I've carried that even onto the channel that I do.
Yeah. Look, it's the thing I shared, right? And when I talked at the end of my trial, I shared man's search for meaning or for happiness, and it's this principle of stimulus and response, and inside of stimulus and response, there's a space. And so for the victim, that's a person who had the stimulus happen to them. And the reason I love the word survivor is it allows them to get control back to their life.
Exactly.
And then have a response. And the response sometimes might not be what they want it to be at first, because that's real life, right? It's okay to not be okay. Like that's something I want to share with every person I meet who's been through something hard.
Exactly.
And then eventually, if we really practice that principle, if we learn to practice the principle of that, we can get to a space where we can control our response regardless of our stimulus. And that's something that I think attracts me to having you be someone I work with regularly, Colby, is the way you have handled that. You have gone through something where the stimulus was, every person who watches this knows the stimulus. It's terrible, right? But your response to that has been empowering. encourage. It's why I think there's a community. It's why I'm attracted. It's why other people probably watching are attracted to you.
Yeah.
It encourages us as people to see someone overcome that and go and do something great with their life. And that made me attracted to the idea of like, let's build a business around that and let's help other people have that in their lives. Because when you watch that, when you subscribe to that, when you spend your time in that space, you can't help but have a better home life. You can't help but have a better work life. You can't help but have a better, like happier, more fulfilling life because you're filling it with good. That's good.
Man.
That's what I want.
That's so beautiful you said that. And I think that that's what we both decided when it comes to a business is that there's just not a lot of people who do this for that reason, right? Like we don't have to do a media company. We want to do a media company. We believe in a movement. And I've always said that if you have something that is meaningful and real to you and you have a vision, you know, everything follows that. And it's almost like you know that you're put on this earth to do a certain thing. And like, I think Brandon and I both want to help people. And so this idea came around, and I want to just share real quick too, that the whole idea of the butterfly.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I got on a rant.
I'm glad.
Okay. So and then Colby shared the butterfly.
Yeah.
Which mine's timber. I'd call his wings.
Yeah.
So like share that. It was profound. I really love it. And the more we've talked about it, the more I love it.
Yeah. And I know it like at first I was like, butterfly, like is not sounds super strong.
Not very manly.
I was like, let's call it timber and lion. You know, I was telling Kelsey, I'm like timber and wolves. Like let's call it something cool. Like I like sharks or something, right?
He's like, I want to be the manly man.
Right? I was telling that to Kelsey, I'm like, I got let's call it something like this. But no, the wings is profound for so many reasons. And I explained it to Brandon in the podcast if you guys have seen that. But what it really means is that you start out as this crawling, you know, little tiny caterpillar, and you're inching around for food, and you're this entire creature. And then for whatever reason, I don't know, God created them to do this, but you go through this period where the caterpillar knows its time, goes into a cocoon, forms this hard shell, is now isolated in the dark, completely alone, with nobody or nothing until it comes out
and dies, goes through, right? That version of itself just dies.
And that's why it's so hard. Like that's the best way I can explain how I feel now as a person is this. And you come out, you watch this butterfly go through the cocoon and then bust through it. And now it literally has the ability to fly. So it doesn't crawl around anymore. It does something, and now it has a new function, but it's the same thing, right? It's
and
still
its possibilities go from limited to endless.
And now you can go anywhere. And like that idea, when we were discussing the whole timber thing, just hit me so hard. And so we just said timber and wings.
Yeah. Grounded and endless.
Yeah. It just hit.
Yeah.
And it gave, and I wanted what I wanted and what you wanted, I think, is this idea that when you hear a name, it means something. Yeah. It means something more. It means a bigger thing. It's bigger than Brandon and I.
Yeah. It didn't matter. I've never been a guy that thinks, dude, all my businesses, I joke because I just pay somebody to make up a name that, whatever the marketer says, that's what we make our business name. You know, I've never really had affinity to those names, but that's also probably because I've never had the passion I do about this, right? Like, and so, I'm with you. Like the name meant everything to me. It had to mean something to us, right?
Yeah, there had to
be meaning for us because this was important. This was something something we really care about. Like it probably, like sometimes a business fails, it doesn't really hurt. Like if this one fails, it'll hurt for us because
it would hurt.
Yeah, because we love it, because we are passionate about it, because it is something that this is, you know, I love art, and this is a space where I have the passion for the art, and I've never felt that way about being on a camera or anything around that at all. So this is the first time in my life.
And that's the thing. That's a big jump. I don't think people realize, like, it's a big thing to decide. I know what I want, but I have to get past the uncomfortability. I don't think anybody's naturally just great on camera. Like I'll tell you, I can go back to some of my early videos on my channel and I'm like, that is just not fully you. Like you're there, but you're not being Colby all the way. Yeah. And so it's been a process of just like all the time, like people giving me that confidence. And like, I'm just going to be me, you know? And like, then you just start to feel like you get around that whole internet idea and you just realize that what you're doing, like, I'm be honest, like that goes into a whole other thing, but like you have people who don't like you. There's going to be people who think we're just trying to come out and make money. And I've addressed that stuff, but I can't give someone who doesn't want to hear the truth of where we're coming from. Like you don't understand the fact that there's a vision here. And like, that means more to us than any dollar sign you could ever assign to it.
And if we can help people, then I will take all the people who don't like us, and they're always going to, people who don't like us will always be there.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, hopefully you guys don't judge me for all my weird things about like I don't know how to match and how I don't know how to, it's true, dude. My poor wife, dude. she's like, don't go out. This is something people who know me well know, but oftentimes I would come to work and people would be like, what are you wearing today? I don't know what matches. I'm not good with my colors.
I surrendered my outfits. I bought this because I knew Kelsey would like this.
Yeah.
She's taught me what shoes to wear. She shows me pictures. And so I've literally surrendered my hair. I've surrendered it all. And guess what? It's been the best version of it. So I just said, you can have that side of my life. And, but what I wanted to say, honestly, guys, is what I think we need from you as a community is to realize our vision. We believe that there's no movement on this without you guys. There's an idea that we have. Like, you can tell, I just want to not like gloat, but show that we are so invested. Like there's not been anything done yet. And
this right here is a studio we built.
Yeah, we built it.
We started spending money on it. We bought a bunch of equipment for it with
everything.
Just immediately when Colby and me kind of made that moment, we were just like, let's do it. Like,
we're
in. So we believe in it.
And like without the momentum of you guys liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing, what that does for us and especially for on YouTube, just honestly, it gives the opportunity for what we're doing to reach more people. And that is the goal. Like, we want to create a real community here. We know that we have some amazing people that love us and support us outside of this case, that don't just see us as these victims, right? They see us as survivors. And the whole goal is we want to bring in people to talk to. We want to do a lot of big things with our media company. And so that's where you guys come in, is that you help us create a community. Me and Brandon can love and talk all day. We could do this alone. We could just do this all by ourselves. We don't need to do this. But the reality is we do want to create a real community with you all, for survivors, for the taking back your narrative, taking back your name, and going down a new path. And I just wanted to say that because you guys are incredibly important, and you create this with us. This is not just me and Brandon. This is our media company.
Yes.
This is all of our media.
This is our hope is this is a group of people that come together. Like, we hope that what happened to Colby and what happened to me and how we chose to react inspires you to do something better in your life, whatever it is. And if it does, and as invested as you want to be, we want you. Like, if you want to be a member who comes and participates and gets in forums and like encourage, like whatever level that it looks like for you. If you just want to watch it because it's interesting, watch it. We love your eyeballs. If you want to share something with us, share, please. Like, we love we love whatever level of commitment or belief you have in it. But what we hope is that there's a movement around it, that people really like the idea of, like, it's not about Colby and I, because we've kind of done that. We worked through that ourselves for ourselves. Now for us, I think it's for both of us, it's about you, the people who are out there. We want you to participate with us.
Exactly.
And then we want to go find the people who aren't doing well yet and help them.
Yes.
We want to find the people who are, to give more examples so that there's more of them. And then the ones that aren't, we want to help them, and we want to follow up.
What Brandon said that would really hit me was meet people where they are. And it's very important, because I just think to myself, one of my main drives is that I went on YouTube all the time when I was going through so much. I was constantly like listening to people who had written books, people who have been through a lot, and like just seeing them go to that place. And like, I never imagined this would happen, what we're doing even right this moment, but it's built to this point. And I believe that this is what I see now, is this vision of helping others is so important. And I just really believe that the community that you create and all of those things just invites more people to push that content out to a point where people like me, who research and look for hope, somehow find something like this. And like we talked about, you and I both agree on this one point: if we help one person
worth it
through this entire process of this media company, no matter how far it goes, if we help somebody just by being vulnerable, being there, because we've gotten through it on our own first, and I use this analogy: you put your oxygen mask on first so you can help everybody else. You and I went and did that privately, and now publicly we can say, let's be a help to you the best we possibly can to put that oxygen mask on.
And sometimes it might come back out in the public, unfortunately. Part of, like, that's sometimes you sit in court and I find out with the whole rest of the world stuff that I didn't know.
Exactly.
Those are tough days. And you know what, like, sometimes people see parts of that process, but generally I encourage everybody to do that privately, right? And then when you come back, share your story publicly if you can help people, if you feel
Exactly.
comfortable, if you feel confident,
Exactly.
and if we can do that and it can get to where it helps people, that's it. That's the goal. That's
Literally.
Timber and Wings. That's
Exactly.
it, right?
That's the entire vision right
that's
there.
and if we can do it in a way that it actually makes some money and we can help some more people share their story again, and we can create a little community of people that are there for them when we can't be, and there's a place for people to talk, and there's that, like, great, like, that sounds so amazing to me.
Exactly.
You know? Like, and it doesn't matter how many people that is. Just if there's people out there who want to be a part of it, come be a part of it and share it.
Exactly. And that's all we want to do, is create this community with you guys. It matters to us. Our hearts are here. We're putting our hearts on the line in hopes that will be enough to create a real community. And we love you guys. We appreciate you. And honestly, dude, I've been holding this one back. Like, the excitement, the putting together the studio, like the feeling that we have with this whole thing. We think we both feel really good. I'm not going to speak for you, but
give us feedback on content. That's one more thing.
Exactly.
We would love if you watched this to the end, please jump in here and, like, tell us what kind of stuff you want to, what kind of content do you want from our media company?
I have an idea. If we get to, well, how many you already know what I'm going to say. How many subscribers?
I don't know what good. I'm not. You're the guy who watches YouTube. Don't ask me how many subscribers is good.
If we get to 10,000 subscribers, when we get to 10,000 subscribers on this channel, there's a reaction to something, and I'm not going to say another word, but I promise you it is worth it.
Oh, no.
Brandon knows exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not going to say anything else, but we'll do a special reaction.
There was some stuff that happened that everybody kept asking questions about.
Yes. Do you want to clear it up in that video when we do the reaction? Or
we'll clear up whatever. Everybody will see.
Yes, you're going to see it. Let's just put it this way. It's a specific video that has a very specific thing that everybody was questioning for a very long time.
Became a nice song afterwards.
Yes, it became a very popular song, and we're going to leave it at that. So we get to 10,000 subscribers, we'll do a reaction. That's something we thought would be fun.
we can have a little fun.
We'll have a little fun with it, man. And that's another thing. Just remember, guys, when you're going through this hard thing, there's no wrong feelings. I just want to reshare that with people. Like, you can laugh, you can cry. That's what this channel is. I'm sure in these chairs, Brandon and I will both end up crying, laughing, going through it, and that's just the reality.
I'm a crier with spiritual stuff.
Yes,
that's a big place where I cry. And, and I can be a little lighthearted about things sometimes too. Heads up,
and that's okay. But that's my point. There's no wrong reaction.
There's no coping mechanism.
Exactly. There's no wrong reaction to that stuff. But we love you, appreciate you. Thank you, guys. Welcome to Timber and Wings. Could have been Timber and Lions.
Go Cougs.